Welcome back to the Corbellic studio. Today we're going to be doing another step-by-step walkthrough painting. Today's painting is going to be a cool horse stallion. They're going to be like two brothers, or a brother and a sister, or maybe a sister, brother, brother. I don't know, but they're going to be two horses next to each other, and it's going to be up to your impersonation of what you want to think they are. That's the cool part about people buying your art, is that they could put in their mind what they think it is, and they have what they see in their own vision. No one's right or wrong. Art is subjective, but that's what we're here. Let's see what we're going to pull out of it. If you're new here, I like to work fast in my paintings, so I like to do them within 10 to 12 minutes normally. Even sometimes when I'm alone and I'm really in the flow of things, I try to pump them out in 7 minutes. That's how we find the happy mistakes, as Bob Ross likes to say. So let's find our happy mistakes today and see what we pump out. All right. All right, so let's get started right here. You can see that we have the twin horses right here, right? And these are some twin stallions. We're gonna make them strong. We're gonna make them abstract. We're gonna make them full of color, because I'm a colorist. I just love color. I never studied color theory. I never went to art school. I just do what's already inside of me. I don't think about it. And I give you the same permission to do the same thing. So let's just get this started. Today I'm going to start with the undercut of the black. I'm going to go off the lines first, like maybe some black and reddish lines, and then we're going to punch it in with the colors. And yeah, let's just see what goes from there. Let's just have fun with this one. All right, I got my timer right here. Let's start it off and let's get into it. This one I'm going to get started with the background color, just a little bit of blue. So I'm just putting in a little bit of water right now, just to make the canvas a little bit wet, right, before we put in our blue. And you see how I'm just going through it fast, right? And then I lighten it up with a white and like a tan color. I like to do it like this because it makes the canvas not so dry, and it makes it easier to paint. But also it's going to give us a background color, so that way after we're painting the horse, we don't have to come back and try to paint the background color around it. I don't like to do that. Some artists do that, where they do the principle first and then they do the background color. I don't. I like to have the color already there, and we're fortunate that we can do that. The reason that we're able to do it this way, with working the background first, is because we're using the projector. But even the greats and the masters, the master artists, the ones that you see in museums, they did backgrounds first. And they would do extensive backgrounds. They would do backgrounds where it would be like a dark color first, like a black or a dark red, and then they would lighten it up. Like, I think there was an old quote that I heard years ago. It used to be my favorite one, but it was something like, the best paintings have a master painting underneath. Like, yeah, something like that. Like, usually the best master paintings have a master painting that's underneath. And that just meant, like, before they even put the principle on there, they spent a lot of time putting a undercoat of colors before you see that. So that's why at times, where at museums, they would always do with the magnifying glass and they see what's underneath of it, or they have these type of x-ray machines or different things like that, where they're able to see what was the painting underneath of it. A lot of times the artist in the golden ages, right, they didn't have art stores and things like that. So if they didn't have art stores, it wasn't easy for them to just go out and start a new canvas. So instead what they did is they would repaint over old paintings. All right, so we're just going to go off of just a dark color right here, touch base on this. And remember, we're going to try to work this fast. I always get caught up talking to you. No, that's cool. It feels like I'm not alone when I'm just showing up to work. I mean, like I said in my other paint video, I was going to do this anyways. I'm going to show up to work anyway. So I think that's why I really like this paint series, and I like that I'm able to paint with you guys, but that I also started this YouTube channel. It's like one of the greatest things that I've done in a long time. I should have done this years ago, to be honest with you, because only thing I'm doing is my work of what I was going to do anyways. I'm always going to show up to work. Look at this. I was so excited to get into the colors that I got into the colors. Normally what I do is I try to do all of the black parts first, like the highlights, and then get into the colors. So let me do the rest of it with some black and some dark red. Let me do the rest of it, and then we could go into the horse with the colors. But man, look at that. I'm really excited about how this is already looking. That excites me right there. That is looking good. You know, you're always, no matter what you're going to do in your profession, but especially when it comes to art, you just have to really show up regardless. But some days you just feel so good to be creative. You feel so good to just want to do art and create. You know, when I was in the business world in my previous life, I used to be a purchaser or procurement doing finance for like all of the big studios in Los Angeles. And I remember saying to myself, I used to just be like, man, if I have time, I would love to just be an artist. So a lot of times I have to remind myself about how grateful I am now and how far I've come over the 8 years of being a professional artist, whatever that means, that I get a chance to wake up and do art. That's the blessing of life as well, is that you're able to pretty much get whatever you want as long as you're also grateful for what you have. A lot of times that we get the things that we want and we forget about how blessed we are that we finally have it. Once you have it, you just need to remind yourself, like, I can't believe I have an art studio that I get to come to in the morning, and I get to just be creative like a kid. I get to be a big kid and just do what I want as far as art, be creative, and be able to talk to you, be able to sell these on eBay without a worry, just having to put them up. Nothing fancy. It's a blessing. And I give you permission to do it too. You don't have to go to art school. You don't have to have drawn before or picked up a paintbrush. You're able to do the same thing. There's nothing special about what I'm doing that you can't do as well. The only difference is just starting, really. In my mind, when I was in finance, and I would say to myself, oh man, one day I'll get the time to paint. In my mind, I just made it seem so, like, it took me a while to even get to that stage. It just seemed like such a big, daunting thing. It's so weird when I look back on it. Like, how come I just didn't do it? And it's really just the starting part. But that's just a lot of things in life. What I try to talk about a lot is that things are just in your head. A lot of life's fears and a lot of things that's stopping you from being successful or things that you want to do is just in your head. But then once you do it, you're going to realize that it's like tying your shoes. Now I don't even think about painting or anything like that. It's just a part of my normal day. And you know, starting off with, if you're going to do this, just say to yourself that no one's going to see it. You don't have to have a social media page. You don't have to have a following. You don't have to have some big numbers. You could just do it. No one has to know about it. It could be our secret. And then you can sell it on eBay. I show you how to set up your account. I have all the templates. I show you where to go online, where you can start and do everything. Things that it took me years to learn. And it's in the eBay Art Community Program. The link's down below. Join in. But not only that, you get a community of people who will share your artwork. So even if you're starting off, you're going to get a leg up. You're going to get more of a leg up than I am. That pays for more of the eBay promotion than eBay's promotions, because you're going to get a inside community that's going to be pushing your links up and pushing your work up. But also it's going to give you the confidence to do what you want to do in your art. It's going to give you more freedom. They say that in order to manifest or get the things that you want in your life, it's about being delusional in a sense, and really believing in things that are not in the physical now. So then that way it starts manifesting itself, and it starts, you basically, you have to be delusional of believing in yourself. What's going to give you that extra step of believing in yourself is when you join the community, you're going to have people who's going to be bidding on your artwork. Well, not bidding on your artwork. I don't want to say that, because I only encourage people to bid in the community on your artwork if they genuinely like it. We don't encourage shill bidding or anything like that, because that's against eBay policy. But what's not against eBay policy is that we can support each other by, we share each other's artwork. You can share the link on your social media page to your family, or just, to anything like that, where that's what we do in the community. That way as well, you'll naturally get more organic views. eBay likes that there's engagement going on your account. And they'll say, look at this new account that signed up. They don't know that you're part of the eBay art community. They just see traction going on. Then what happens is you're going to get more on the front pages of art in our category. So that way the world will be able to see your artwork, even if you have no experience. No one knows who you are. You don't have to be some art person. They're not going to go to Instagram, and they're not going to try to look up your name or anything like that. One thing that I've noticed about eBay, and I guess I should have talked about that on my email versus social media and versus eBay, is that most of the buyers who buy from me on eBay, they don't mess with Instagram. They're not really social media type people. I would say only 5%. So they're not looking to see if you have some type of following or who you are. Now this one is going to be more impressionism, and I love doing that. And you should have fun with that too, where it's like, it's not that detail in what the picture is. It's more about an idea of what the image is. And people love that. Like I said, people really want authenticity, mistakes, and just your idea of what you think the artwork is. If they want something perfection, then they'll just order that online. They could get perfection from a screen printout at Target or some type of art store. If they want that, they're coming to you because they want, not only do they want affordable, great art, but they want something that looks so different. All right, so now this is what we're going to do for fun. When it's like this, at this stage, I like to put the lights back on, and then from here, I'm just going to go into it really fast, play around with the colors, and that way we can get something different off of it. Right now we're at the 12-minute mark, but that's just because I've been running my mouth like always. But no, that's cool. And then I like to somewhat look back at the reference, but I don't have to. And look, you see how I'm just working it fast with some colors, like this blue. I'm just working it fast. I'll take some of this purple. And feel free, even though we're being loose with it, right? Feel free to look back at your reference either if you're working off of your phone or if you're working off of the laptop, which I'm working off of, and then the eBay art community, I tell you how to set these things up yourself. Really simple. You get a projector for $30 to $50, no more than that. And I show you how to set it up, how you can start doing this yourself. But feel free to look back at it and just look at different parts of the reference so you can see different shadows or different images that you might want to take from it. Or not, you don't have to either. Just say to yourself that it doesn't matter because it's all going to sell. And there we go. I'm good with that. Some paintings, what I always say in this channel, some paintings you're going to love, some paintings you aren't, but it's not up to you. It's up to the buyer. And you don't know, you can't control that part. The only thing that you can control is showing up. And you don't have to love every painting. You just have to get it done. You just have to show up to work. Boom. And that's it. We showed up to work on that one. Now let's put our signature on it. Now we spent 14 minutes on this one. A little bit longer, but that's fine, you know. We did this together. A fun impressionism horse painting. Right? And you could do this too. I give you permission just to have fun. You could do so many of these. You never know what the outcome is going to be. That's also the fun part too. Every single night is like payday. You're going to get a paycheck every single night. So the best way to do that, instead of waiting for the paycheck, instead of waiting for people to buy your stuff, if you're a sourcer or if you're a reseller, it's just that you can do this, put it up, and I can show you how to do it as well. Click the link below, tap into the eBay art community, and I'm gonna check you out on the next video.